No, the title is not just bullshit. We're back on this again.
What the hell is this?
I gotta get the Breadpilled!
How goes everybody? It's your boy Deputy Rust. If you don't know who I am, I do all different kinds of videos where I talk about different things on the web. I also do art. That's the thing I do. But anyway, today's topic, we are going back onto one of the earlier videos I did in the Legend of series. We're talking about Wonder Bread guy again because he kind of came back into the circulation again, partly because of me. And the poor girl didn't know, and then everybody started talking about who the Wonder Bread guy is. And this just kind of got me to get re-interested because someone actually posted a podcast that the Wonder Bread guy actually appeared in, aka Merlogic. And I am going to be 100% honest. My world got rocked when I figured out this guy was actually relatively more chill than what we thought. So I went back to make sure my original video wasn't that disinformative or anything like that. Turns out it's actually pretty okay information-wise. There are a few errors here and there. And most of the worst thing was just my reaction where I was just very timid and didn't know how to describe it. I think the big reason why the whole Wonder Bread thing is so weird compared to other fetishes is just there's nothing really that you can do with bread, like Wonder Bread and all that stuff. What could you do? It wasn't relating to some sort of feeding fetish. It wasn't related to any sort of other gross fetish or anything like that. It's just apparently the dude loved Wonder Bread. And the funnier thing is, this dude is perfectly content and realizes it's stupid, but it's not a joke to him. He just genuinely loves Wonder Bread in that regard. So in today's part 2 video about this whole thing, this is just more about going into information about the Wonder Bread guy, talk about some information I got wrong, or explaining a few more things about the whole thing. With that being said, let's begin with the video.
I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get these.
The biggest thing that a lot of people are probably wondering about is why the hell there are that many pictures of big titty blonde women who are business women buying Wonder Bread in the store. Why that specific piece? Why is there so many pieces of that art? Well, it turns out, according to Merlogic, that's actually sort of a tryout piece, essentially. Every time he commissions an artist, he always has them draw this piece that is basically the same thing. It's literally a person walking through the store, buying bread and all that kind of stuff. After that, though, if he likes the artist, he'll have them do other things that aren't just that one scene. It's just literally a tryout scene. It's basically like a bunch of sides you get when you're auditioning for a musical and stuff. Everybody gets them. You have to see how you do with that and stuff, and then they'll cast you, basically. That's kind of how he goes about it. Another thing I found out, which is actually pretty respectable, is he loves commissioning artists, and he's always looking for new artists to commission. And with some of the pieces of art that I mentioned in the previous video, like the Pacific Northwest mom doing a line of cocaine and all that stuff, it's intentionally shitposty. I'm gonna apologize as well. During that whole video, I was literally that bewildered, and the whole that little comic thing, I thought that was genuine. It's more likely just a big old shit post, and that's about it. I think the reason why I just assumed that he thought it was all genuine and he liked it was because everybody just saw him as a Christian, you know, because it was so weird that the dude had a fetish for Wonder Bread. It's just one of the most bizarre things, you know? But really, when I'm listening to the podcast with this guy's actually pretty chill. He's actually a pretty relatively chill dude. He likes to shitpost. He has a little bit more of an edgy side to him, but other than that, dude's pretty chill.
Yeah, try to OD again. See how quickly you get banned, idiot.
Now this is the biggest one that I almost had in my original video, but I omitted because I didn't know whether or not it was true. And then I put it in the comment section saying this is something that I found out, didn't know if it was true or not, and then that got audited and all that stuff. But this is basically about the Tumblr post thing. Apparently somebody was trying to claim that this dude was like a white nationalist or something because they saw the mountains and mountains of tryout pieces essentially, and they assumed that the guy was like a white nationalist or something. And this also goes to another point. Apparently a lot of the pieces of like the eco destruction and all that kind of stuff is meant to be as parody as possible. It's supposed to be exaggerative. It's supposed to be as like very ha ha ha, I love destroying the environment and all that kind of stuff. Mostly that, also partly a fetish. We'll get into that. Basically, this is a big ol' he said, she said thing. So take it all with a grain of salt. This guy really, at the end of the day, is just a guy who likes Wonder Bread, basically.
And I just draw super good on my Sinteach. I draw super good on my Sinteach. I draw super fucking good on my Sinteach!
Now this is something I actually really screwed up on, and I really need to apologize for that. But this is about the whole Shadman now thing. And I'm honestly really sorry for miscontributing to this thing, but this is the reason why he got denied by Shad in the first place. It wasn't about the Wonder Bread. I kind of made it think like it was the Wonder Bread, but it was about something else completely. For context, the reason why he wanted to commission Shad is because he wanted to make a piece of Asami from Legend of Korra being depicted in a way that she wasn't. Because according to him, he didn't like how she was portraying the show. She was just very like very much a wallflower, very much a pushover and all that stuff. He thought she was going to be like a good guy that turns bad guy or something like that. That's what he talked about. So he thought it'd be fun to have pieces of her basically where she is evil capitalist lady and all that stuff, and I explained some of the other art. The whole place was supposed to be Asami in a workshop and using a bunch of water benders as slave labor and all that kind of stuff. It was supposed to be a very parody, a very sort of thing that Asami was just a bad guy. Shad turned it down, and apparently he wasn't even doing commissions at that time, but apparently Shad turned it down and all that stuff. But even then, it's kind of weird that he would, in a sense. So there's that. Apparently the dude was doxxed by Kiwi Farms at one point, and this isn't something that I actually talked about in the video, but I thought I might as well talk about it here, because this is where some of the people and some of the misinformation comes from. Like Dreadwing Duck and Kiwi Farms, they're a bunch of guys that saw Wonder Bread guy and basically just went full town thinking he was like the next Chris Chan, basically. It was mainly Kiwi Farms. They were really trying to make him out to be like the next Chris Chan because, you know, like the whole Wonder Bread thing. That's so weird. But then as they tried looking at him and looking at information about him, he just turned out to be, besides the whole Wonder Bread thing, a normal dude. He was just a normal dude that shit posted and just commissioned art of Wonder Bread, basically. That was really the only thing that made this guy different, was just he freaking loved Wonder Bread. And apparently the doxing situation really didn't do much, which both makes sense and it doesn't make sense. Like, on the one hand, you'd think that this would be like this big ol' opportunity to like dunk on the guy, but after the doxing, nothing really came up from it. So he just kind of continued on, basically. And then there's also the Dreadwing Duck video. I remember seeing it before doing this video, like doing my first video on the whole Wonder Bread guy, and I remember like he kind of was a bit too, he didn't really give a whole lot of information, so I really didn't like his video. Someone actually said that I did a better job than he did. I actually addressed some things that he didn't really address, and like the origin of his love of Wonder Bread and also the OCs. OCs now definitely make a lot more context now they've done more research. They were intentionally made for this whole kind of shenanigan, like a cartoon, like, oh, this character is just trying to be the evil Echo Destruction. The Park Ranger girl is trying to stop her shenanigans and all that kind of stuff. So that makes more sense. So I'm really sorry that I didn't, like, I was that bewildered in the first video. I am completely sorry about this. Now, as for that whole thing I mentioned how the Echo Destruction was partly parody, partly fetish, the fetish part comes from the fact that he has a fetish for girls destroying things. That's about it, but he doesn't have a fetish for the destruction of the environment, all that stuff. He just kind of played hand in hand with all that together. Apparently, there was rumors that apparently this dude was disowned, but actually he's been a foster child for years, even before he developed the fetish, and he actually did not like the parents that he was with. He really didn't like them. Apparently as well, no one else in his real life knows about the whole Wonder Bread fetish thing, even with the doxing happened. So really, other than the Wonder Bread thing, the dude's just a pretty chill dude, to be honest.
It's not been easy for me. It has not been easy for me. And, you know, I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Again, it goes back to memes and memetics. The things that are impressed upon us that we consume and like have a neuron that activates basically when we see something we like and stuff. He even goes into description about it, like mainly with the whole girls destroying things. When he was a child, apparently something set him off when he was younger, and from Dexter's Lab with Dee Dee destroying things that kind of set the whole thing in motion. But yeah, I think more of the reason why people just kind of went to town on it was just more the whole Wonder Bread thing and the fact that there was just so much art of that test piece sort of thing they had people do. It was no wonder why people thought he was weird or racist or anything like that when he really wasn't. Also, another point, always do your research, and I apologize again for not doing my full research on the first video. Even though I did better than some, I still didn't do enough, and again, I really need to be better about that. Also, I need to be better about, too, in future reference about who I'm talking about, who I take the chance to, like, you know, make fun of, because guys like Ken Penders and Dobson, they deserve the mockery they get. They just act that stupid. But Wonder Bread guy's only crime really is just loving Wonder Bread, to be honest. That's really about the only thing that makes him, you know, odd, really. Every time I've talked about the topic or I found people talking about him, people that have actually interacted with him have said he's actually a pretty chill dude. He's actually pretty nice, and he has a lot of respect for artists as well. So, honestly, dude's pretty respectable. If more logic somehow comes across this video, I just want to formally apologize. I'm really sorry, man. I'm sorry I didn't do a whole lot of research for my first video. You actually seem like a pretty cool dude. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if you wanted to commission me or anything like that. But again, Sorry for not doing a whole lot of research or approaching about the whole thing. I just wanted to make this video as like a correction from my first video and just talk a little bit more about this case. That is the end for this video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the next one when it comes.